Welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode I'll be doing another delve down the dungeon of Helm, the core set, and the first little mini expansion it comes with, which is the Loot and Lore pack. In this adventure I'll be using Moliclan. He's got 16 health, energy of 10, encumbrance of 11, 1 ration and 3 gold. He also has the trappings of an axe, a torch and a skill parry. Okay, I put those values there to the side. The parry skill allows him to, you may attempt to block all initial damage with your primary weapon. He then rolls dice. Fail is on a 1, 2, 3 and 4, but the 1 is it breaks. 5 or 6 you avoid damage. Okay, that's his current skill. He is armed currently with an axe, which would cost him 2 if you wanted to buy it. He's got 2 encumbrance on that. It's PH stands for primary hand, so he can have something else in his secondary hand, and you may discard this card to deal 3d6 damage without spending any energy. That's basically throwing the axe. And he's also got a torch, which has got an encumbrance value of 1. You may discard this card to reveal both dungeon cards and then choose one to resolve. So it's a one-off, but that could be useful. That doesn't have to go in a hand, that's in his accessories. So he's got 3 gold to spend. What I tend to have been doing, and I'm going to continue doing it, I'm going to buy him some rations, which cost 1 gold. You discard that immediately to get 2 additional rations, so he's now going down the dungeon with 3 rations. Food is always useful to keep. I'll also buy him a door wedge. I laughed at this when I initially started playing, but actual fact, it proves useful to avoid, as it says, an ambush or a skirmish before you get to see what the monster is. That's cost him so far 2 gold. He's got 1 gold remaining. Because of that parry skill, I'm thinking it might be worthwhile to have a secondary weapon, but the cheapest secondary weapon I'm looking at is 2. And I'm quite happy with the door wedge and the torch. So I might not use the parry until I've at least found a secondary weapon. Okay. So we're all good to go. Okay. I've shuffled all the cards. We don't know obviously what boss we're doing, so we're about to start the first level. I will then take 2 cards here, and I will choose this one, which is an ambush. As it's me that's ambushing, because it's the 1 at first, you catch your foe by surprise and gain the upper hand. Draw an enemy card and ignore their initial damage. So I will draw an enemy. Well, that's a good one to start with, isn't it? The Consuming Mass. Okay, so you catch your foe by surprise and gain the upper hand. Draw an enemy card and ignore the initial damage. So I get to attack it first and add the dungeon level to its health. So its health is 7. We're at level 1 of the dungeon. I should move that into the level 1 box. So it's got 8 health to start with. So I will put it there. It's me that gets to strike first. So with the axe, I've got 8 health, so I'm going to consume 3 energy. means I'll roll 3d6. And hopefully I'll get that 8. Just. Okay, so I've taken out the consuming mass. I gain 2 loot, which is actually 1 loot from the loot pile and 1 potion. Okay, revealing an energy potion and, well, what every warrior needs, a cookbook. Okay, so the cookbook, gain 1 extra energy when you eat a ration at a campsite. So in other words, he starts to learn how to make decent food. And the energy, you may discard this card to gain 2 energy. Well, I'm actually going to do that straight away to get 2 of those energy that he's just consumed to hit the consuming mass back. So the energy card is used up. He puts the cookbook into his backpack, raising his encumbrance, which I'm actually using this dice here to keep track of, to 4. 2 for the axe, 1 for the wedge, 1 for the cookbook, and 1 for the torch. It's 5. I did basic maths at school. Right, and the consuming mass goes and sits in the enemy section, the ambush, and whatever that card was, discarded. Okay, so moving on to the next turn, drawing 2 cards. I'll have a look at this one here. It's a mushroom grove. Okay. You have located a grove of young mushrooms. Gain 1 ration. So he's now got 4 rations. Useful. Food is always useful. Next 2 cards. Let's look at this one. Skirmish. Okay, you draw your weapon and you are ready for battle. Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level +2 to their health. Oh, so a cave troll. A cave troll. 8 health. Plus, as it says for the skirmish, you draw your weapon, draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level, which is 1, and plus the health, so they've got 11 health in total. This could be tricky. He says, I may avoid this conflict by spending 3 gold. No. I've only got 1, so that option's denied to me. However, I'm a warrior. Let's take on this cave troll. Okay, so it strikes first. Okay, so its damage rolls are done by 2d6. The difference between the 2 dice is how much damage it does, plus the 4 that's on the counter already. And if it's a tie on the result, it misses completely. Like that. It's a tie. Okay, so the troll misses, so straight into my fight with it. I will throw, no, I will use my axe. I'm not throwing it. I'll use my axe. I will use 3 energy. I will roll 3d6 and add the 3 up together and hopefully equal that 11 so it doesn't get another strike at me. More than enough to take out the troll. Okay. So I get from the troll 2 lots of treasure, one of which will be a loot, one of which is a potion, and a gold coin. Taking the gold coin now, that puts me on 2 gold coins. Take a loot, which is a nice little magic ring. I take a potion, which is an ice shard. You may discard this card to deal 2d6 damage, plus 5 damage to foes weak versus ice. So it'll do the 2d6 plus the ice, and this uses no energy. So it's effectively an ice shard grenade. That adds 1 to my encumbrance. It now goes to 6. And the magic ring. Once per dungeon level, you may avoid an ambush. Again, useful. 1 encumbrance. That takes my encumbrance total to 7. Control goes to the enemy destroyed, and those 2 cards. I have completed that turn. That use a significant amount of my energy, so I'll need some of that back. This time I will take from this card. It's the Merchant. Deep in the dungeons seems like a strange place to set up shop, but who are you to question his sanity? You may make a purchase from the Merchant. Now we're at level 1, so it's 1 loot and 1 potion that he actually has available in his shop. So he has a field guide and some holy water. I only possess 2 coins. I can sell to the merchant. The merchant will buy unwanted items from you for 1 gold each. Well, everything I've got so far I'm quite happy with. The field guide, now my total encumbrance is 11. I've got 7 there at the present moment. Field guide will cost me 2. I've only got 2 coins. The holy water is like another type of grenade, effectively, but this time it's more effective against undead. So the ice shard is effective against monsters with ice, or is this one's useful weak versus ice. This is useful versus weak to the undead. So I'm going to purchase the holy water for the cost of 1 coin. That increases my encumbrance. However, the field guide at 2, I won't purchase. So that goes into the loot pile. And we say goodbye to the merchant. Next 2 cards. Let's go for this one. The Labyrinth. Surely your cunning will see you out of the wizard's maze. Discard 1 ration. If you have no rations, lose 3 health. Well, the worst I could get is a skirmish or an ambush. And I do have a doorway if those 2 nasties occur. So I don't really want to use a ration up wandering around the labyrinth. So Moliclan will look at the next card. So that is discarded. It is an ambush, which would mean it would be this option here, which is very nasty. So I will at that point discard my door wedge. Discard to avoid an ambush or a skirmish. I'm avoiding that ambush. My door wedge is now gone. Next turn. This time I will actually use my magic ring. Once per dungeon level you may avoid... Oh no, that's avoid an ambush. It's a torch that gives me... Yeah, okay. I didn't need to give up my door wedge. I could use my magic ring to get me out of the ambush. Done it now. Move on. Okay, so the torch. You may discard this card to reveal both dungeon cards and then choose 1 to resolve. So I will use up the torch. So that's using 2 of my encumbrance, which should take it back to 6. Which is correct. So I get to look at both of these cards and choose 1 of them. A blessing or gain a gold? I think I'll take the blessing because this will help me in the combat in the end. Those are 2 useful cards. I mean, obviously they're not in here. Right. Skirmish. Well, again, if it's an ambush, I can use my magic ring. If it's a skirmish, I can't, but I really need a cook site to start changing some of these rations into food. So, well, how fortuitous. It is the campsite. You have spied a relatively quiet location to set up camp. It will not be long before you attract attention to yourself. Choose one of the following. So I can cook, spend 1 ration to gain 3 energy, or gain 1 ration, or spend 1 ration to gain 2 health and lose a poison. I don't need to do either of those two, but the cooking, spend 1 ration to gain 3 energy, and because I've got the cookbook, gain 1 extra energy when you eat a ration at a campsite. So there's my ration going back, and I get 4 energy. Better make sure I can't exceed my initial start. 3, 6. I'm back to full energy. So what I'm going to do, as I can't have any more, make it easy to keep track, I'm going to empty those. So anything that I put into either of those 2 columns there, I know is I can take back and put onto my character sheet, character mat. So that was the campsite. And the last 2 cards for this turn, or for this dungeon level, it's another skirmish. I don't think we read the merchant, we read the campsite, we saw the altar. So let's take a skirmish. I've got 2 enemies there. A third one, skill, would be useful because then I can actually get another brawn based skill. So it's automatically on 3 health, dungeon level +2, plus whatever it is. It's a flying snake, so says it's got 3 health to start with. So it's now at 6. It says I gain 1 poison with initial damage. Okay, however it's vulnerable to ice, so I might be able to use the ice shard, but I've still got to suffer its attack. I've got nothing that allows me to attack it first. So, rolling its damage, remember these are doubles. I take no damage. They're not doubles. So 3 and take away 1 is 2, plus the 1 that's on the card that I take 3 wounds from this, and one of those is poison. I've got no armour as yet, so there's my 3 wounds, and I take a poison. Okay. Now I could attack it with the ice shard, which deals 2d6 damage plus 5 to ice, so it will kill it, and I won't expend any energy. So we will use the ice shard. 2d6 plus 5, because it's vulnerable to ice, is an auto kill. Don't need to roll the dice on that, because the minimum of 2d6 is going to be 2. 2 plus 5 is enough. However, the flying snake gives me no treasure, but that does put me onto the 3rd card there. Those 2 are done. With 3 monster cards, I can check I am brawn. So I could add Fortitude, Shield Block, Berserk, or Dual Wield. Fortitude, +1 health whenever you drink a health potion. You no longer increase your poison level at the end of the round. May be useful. Shield Block would be useful if I had a shield. Berserk, you may spend 2 health to add an additional dice to your attack roll, and add 5 if you throw that throwing axe. Could be useful. Dual Wield, you may equip a dagger in your offhand, adding +2 to the sum of your attack rolls. I haven't got a dagger yet, and I'm now going to be reliant on finding a dagger in the loot, so not going to take that. The Berserk, that could be useful. spending 2 health to gain an additional dice without using fatigue. So using health rather than energy. Or shield block. Again, I'm reliant on getting a shield. So on that initial decision, I'm not going to take any because I might find something further into the dungeon that might steer that choice, or I get another 2 enemies to that, and then I can actually take from the mind, or I could take from the agility skill sets. So with that dungeon level, at that point we go through the end of level sequence, which is shuffling these cards, which I'll do quickly. All 16 done, and then a little bit of a, there we go. Then feed the character, so use up one of my rations. Okay, I've only got 1 poison, so it says I would gain, if I had 2 poisons I'd gain an additional 1. I advance the pawn to level 2, and then I draw the top plot card. The well. Okay, so you can see it. Near the centre, sorry, I'll get it in a moment. Near the centre of the clearing stands an old well. On closer inspection, you notice the well is full of sweet-smelling water. Do you dare to take a sip? Drink from the well only once, roll a d6 and find your result. Well, of those results, gain 2 poison, gain 1 poison, that's 2 really negative results. Then a 3 is gain a blessing, 4 is 2 health, I've lost 3 health. 5 is gain 2 energy, I don't have any energy, and 6 is cured of all poison. Well, I've only got 1 poison, but so there's 2 negative results and 3 positive. Go on, sweet smelling water. Oh, negative result, gain 2 poison. So he's now at 3. That water was nasty. There. And it adds 2 eyeballs to the plots. When I find 10 of those, that's when I encounter the boss. And that concludes level 1. Thank you for watching.